Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Rano local government area of Kano State bans lovers from meeting in public places at night. Who is 21-year-old Glory Okoli? She demands 100 billion naira as damages from the Nigerian government for infringing on her rights. US President Joe Biden vows to hunt down jihadists behind an attack in Kabul, which killed 90 people, including 13 US troops. I am Prudence Okonna with the details of these and more stories. The Nigerian government has stopped salaries of striking doctors based on the implementation of the No Work, No Pay Directive. Director of Hospital Services, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Adebimpe Adebiyi made the announcement in a statement. Adebiyi urged chief medical directors and managing directors of federal tertiary health institutions to comply. They must identify doctors staying off work and any health worker that may join the industrial action subsequently, and are also expected to compute and forward the financial implications to the ministry. Adebiyi disclosed that the ministry received a letter from Labour Minister Chris Ngige informing the Health Minister Osage Hanire of the laws governing the National Association of Resident Doctors strike. The memo directed immediate application of provisions of Section 43, subsection 1 of the Trade Union Act on special provisions with respect to payment of salaries during strikes and lockouts. With implementation of the No Work, No policy, the affected workers will not get payment effective Monday, August 2nd, 2021, when the strike commenced. The over 100 students of an Islamic school who were recently freed after 3 months in the den of kidnappers have arrived at the Niger State Government House. Their captors had let them go late in the night on Thursday, and the government had made arrangements for them to be brought to the capital, Minna. Upon arrival, they were greeted by their parents and government officials, all cheerful for their safety. The gunmen had abducted students from their school in Rafai local government area of Niger State on May 30. A few days later, they demanded a ransom of 110 million naira and threatened to kill the victims, but 11 of them were released hours later, according to the Niger State government. The governor of the North Central State, Sani Bello, had earlier ruled out the option of paying a ransom to the abductors. Upon their release, the head teacher, Abubakar Al-Hassan, did not say if any ransom was paid. The circumstances of their release are also yet to be clear.
Contributed in whatever means towards the release of these innocent children. This goes to show the sickness and madness in the heads of some people. Otherwise, I cannot explain or imagine why you will abduct a 3-year-old, innocent 3-year-old, and keep him or her for over 80 days. But without wasting time, I have just been informed by our medical team that all the children have been checked and all of them appear to be okay, but 4 of them. We will be releasing them to their parents, as I'm sure their parents are eager to have their loved ones back home. Once again, I would like to thank our gallant security men, the chairman of Rafi local government area, the chairman, the commissioner for local government, whom I've been in constant touch with, and have been working on this day in, day out. The headmaster should not be left out. He has been at the forefront of this from the beginning. But Alhamdulillah, I'm glad that this has come to a complete closure.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has sacked 35 officers and men for alleged offenses, including corruption, dereliction of duty, desertion, and colluding with drug traffickers. The chairman and chief executive of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, who resumed in January this year, had set up a committee to look at petitions against officers of the agency. It was reliably gathered that some of the petitions were from sister security agencies and the Nigerian public. Sources said prior to the appointment of Marwa, employment and appointment racketeering was being perpetrated by some top officials of the agency. Our correspondent learned that some of the drug dealers paid heavily to get their persons appointed and also lobbied for them to be posted to their areas of influence, also known as jurisdictions, to facilitate their nefarious activities of drug peddling and trafficking. According to Clearview findings, 35 operatives comprising 23 junior officers and 12 senior officers have disciplinary cases. And around the local government area of Kano State has banned people of the opposite sex from meeting in public places at night. The bylaw enacted to this effect is as a result of the reported cases of immoral activities between girls and boys, including divorcees. The local authorities stated that lovers can now only meet at daytime to discuss the local government information. Officer Habibu Faragai said the council chairman Dahiru Muhammad announced the law at a security committee meeting attended by residents and traditional leaders. Muhammad noted that the committee had raised alarm over the high rate of immorality in the local government area and that the concern guided the council to come up with the new law. He said the new law was meant to sanitize the council area of immoral activities occurring during night discussions between the opposite sex. The council boss directed the state's Islamic police, Hisbah board, and other security agents at the local level to ensure compliance and arrest defaulters. Also, the district head of Rano, Manir Tafida Abubakar, called on the village and ward heads as well as imams across the council area to ensure that residents comply with the new law. Tafida Abubakar said there are about 3 major issues bordering on immorality happening in the area and had become a source of concern to residents. The state government had banned the opposite sex from boarding the same commercial tricycles in 2019. Of recent, the Kano State Hisbah Board banned the use of mannequins to display clothes by tailors, supermarkets, and boutique owners in the state. Hisbah Commander-in-Chief Ustaz Harun Mohammed Sani Ibn Sina said the use of mannequins by tailors, boutique owners, and other contravenes the provision of Islamic injunctions. He said the agency would educate the public on how Islam frowns on the use of mannequins and send its officials to apprehend and prosecute offenders. Despite the public condemnation, the destruction of beer and other alcoholic beverages by Hisbah has continued in some northern states, including Kano. For instance, in November 2020, about 1,975,000 bottles of beer, estimated at 200 million naira, were confiscated and destroyed by the Islamic police in Kano State. Meanwhile, during the recent wedding reception of Yusuf, only son to the President Muhammadu Buhari, and his heartthrob Zara Ado Bayero, whose father is a traditional ruler in Kano, the Hisbah Corps was nowhere to be found. The Chartered Institute of Educational Practitioners, UK, otherwise known as CPUC, has been speaking on its mission in Nigeria, and that is to help strengthen the nation's education system to compete more effectively at the international level and to give greater attention to the education and empowerment of street girls. To put words in action, the Institute at an event this Thursday with some of its donors promised to offer retraining programs for some teachers as well as return about 30,000 street girls to school. Clearview TV's Mercy Eke was there and now reports.
Speaking at the event, the President African Region of the Chartered Institute of Education Practitioners, UK, CPOC, Professor Marcel Ezewonye said the institute is committed to nurturing talents in all areas of education and has been acting as a voice of educational section for the past 12 years. He said the number of out-of-school and street girls in Nigeria is high. To check the trend, Professor Ezewonye said the institute is empowering school dropouts, physically challenged, and the street girls by partnering with some bodies as a way of supporting the government in strengthening the educational system.
The welfare of teachers should be equally important. A very good teacher in London or in America, even in China, earns so much money that they're always riding the biggest jeeps and cars over there. But here it's just looking as if they are the only people that are suffering. We're taking education even to the downtrodden masses, the underprivileged, the vulnerable groups, the disabled, or we don't call them disabled, we call them physically challenged. All of them, we have a provision for them within our institute to train them and make them to be more self-reliant.
Chairman of the occasion, Professor Fabian Osoyi, a former Minister of Education, noted that insecurity in Nigeria cannot be properly addressed without first educating a great number of the people, particularly the future generations.
We're at the very worst epoch in our educational development in this country. But I'm also gladdened by the fact that there are people who are still committed to the task of educating people, the task of teaching others, the task of revamping, to use the usual word, revamping our education system. And I thank you, I congratulate you.
Some of the awardees took turns to appreciate the institute.
Well, I think this award means a crowning on my educational efforts. I want to say thank you, and to everyone out there, I want to tell you that whatever you're doing to help humanity, God will remember you someday.
Some of the initiative of the organization, like the eradication of over 30,000 street girls, also touched me. As an individual and as a founder of an organization, we'll look forward to working with them to impact life in that regard.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of awards to the awardees. Mercy Eke, Clearview Television.
Nigerian US-based model Fancy Echolonu has called off her engagement with popular Nollywood actor Alex Ekubo. The couple, who had kept their relationship out of public eye for years, officially announced their engagement in May this year. 3 months down the line, both sparked breakup rumors as Fancy eliminated all pictures of her ex-fiancé from her Instagram page on Wednesday. The couple's joint IG account, Falex Forever, was also deleted on the same day. The traditional wedding between the former lovebirds had been scheduled to hold in November 20 at Imo State, while the church wedding was slated for November 27 in Lagos State. In announcing the breakup, Fancy took to her Instagram page to confirm the rumors that the engagement between the couple had been called off. She said she was aware that the news would come as a shock to many. She, however, maintained that she had made the best decision for herself because it is important that everyone finds their happiness and live in their truth. She wrote, "At this time, my family and I ask you all to please respect our privacy. Thank you so much." Despite the buzz the news has caused, Alex Ekubo has remained notably silent, with no comment on the matter from his end. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Nigerian police to charge Glory Okoli, a 21-year-old woman arrested and enslaved by operatives of the Inspector General of Police's Intelligence Response Team in Imo State, to court. The court ruled that Okoli must be charged to court by the police by August 31 or be released on bail. Okoli sued the Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, and Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, in the suit instituted at the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja. Okoli also seeks her immediate and unconditional release from the custody of the police. Joining the second and fourth respondents, Baba and Malami, in the suit are the Nigeria Police Force and Tunji Disu IRT commander. Okoli asked the court to mandate the respondents to pay her the sum of 100 billion naira as general and punitive damages separately for infringing on her rights. The court had asked the police to charge Okoli to court by August 31 or release her on bail. Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has challenged the presidency to a public debate on all issues he raised while appearing on Channels Television's early morning program Sunrise Daily. Reacting to statements credited to the presidency that he is at best an ethnic jingoist, only interested in fanning the embers of disunity rather than engaging in public governance, Governor Otom said he stands by his submission that President Muhammadu Buhari has failed to keep to the oath of office of providing security for all Nigerians. The governor challenged the presidency to a public debate on all the issues he raised on the program. The governor said castigating him instead of addressing the issues at stake will not change his position on the monumental failure of the Buhari administration, which he insisted is anchored on ethnicity and not national interest.
First of all, on security, we agreed that we fast-tracked the formation and composition of community volunteer guards, which will complement the conventional security of the state. I stand with what I said on Channels Television. And if the presidency won't, let them come out and deny those. And I also challenge them to a debate. Let the president dominate anybody. I challenge them on those issues that are raised. I want to challenge them to come for a debate on Channels Television or any other media platform. They should react to the issues that are raised on that matter. Not just insulting me or castigating me for no reason. Everybody knows that Otom is a true Democrat. And I believe in the unity of our country.
President Buhari's senior special assistant on media and publicity, Shehu Garba, had on Channels Television in evening program Politics Today dismissed Governor Tom as a rabble-rouser who is only engaged in championing ethnic causes to cover up his lack of performance. Garba also dismissed Otom as a serial party defector. You're watching Clearview Television News. More stories to come after this break.
Listen to this truth. We are growing by the day and our viewership keeps growing on our different platforms. We are inviting you to advertise your goods and services with us at incredibly low rates. And do you have news for us? Script or video? Please contact us through our email address clearviewnewsroom@gmail.com or WhatsApp line 080 650 30 300. Again, 080 650 30 300. Welcome on board.
You're welcome back. A two-day workshop on maritime safety and disaster management has ended in Abuja with a call to institutions, organizations, and individuals to support efforts aimed at checking disasters resulting from the impact of climate change. Organized by the Environmental Management and Disaster Risk Reduction Institute, a closing session also featured the presentation of awards in various categories to some key institutions and media houses for their notable contributions to national development, particularly in the area of environmental protection and sustainability.
No doubt, climate change is fast impacting on Nigeria, ranging from desertification, deforestation in the north, gully erosion in the southeast, environmental pollution in the oil-rich Niger Delta region, and flooding in virtually all parts of the Federation, all with devastating losses in lives and property worth billions of naira. Concern over the increasing environmental challenges, the Environmental Management and Disaster Risk Reduction Institute organized a 3-day workshop in Abuja to profile workable solutions to address them. In an interview with Clearview Television, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute, Stephen Ogboli, and the Surveyor General of the Federation, Samuel Adeniran Taiwo, gave insight on the gains of the workshop.
Nigeria has a very wide coastal coverage and a very good coastline, which would have been the beehive of activity in the West African and African sub-region. We came up with the idea that we could have workshops where we introduce areas of e-commerce, e-management, maritime safety, standards, transportation, management, and other key variables, especially the issue of environmental protection, environmental management, and disaster risk reduction.
And bearing in mind that about 2/3 of the whole world is water, and it is also a very agreed or important something that we have more resources in our maritimes than we even have onshore. So in order to be able to enjoy the economic opportunity and then the privileges in the maritime environment, we have to take care of the safety and then the security in the environment. We really want to secure our environment in order that is particularly our maritime environment to be able to benefit and profit from the growth and the development that is therein.
The closing session witnessed the induction of new members of the Institute and the presentation of awards to various public and private-owned organizations for their contributions to national development, especially in the area of disaster management. The awards covered various categories. Among the 18 recipients were the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, National Biosafety Management Agency, Federal Ministry of Transportation, Federal Ministry of Environment, National Oil Spill Detection and Protection Agency. In the media category were the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA), Africa's Independent Television (AIT), and Nigeria's leading online media outfit Clearview Television. The objectives of environmental management and disaster risk reduction are to champion environmental safety and professional practices, promote best practice in security operations, advance integrity and ethical standards, provide training and support for its members. Florence Joshua, reporting for Clearview Television.
In a bid to forestall future accidents in the Nigerian airspace, the Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, had held an interactive session with stakeholders in the nation's aviation industry to review challenges confronting the industry. As our correspondent Gloria Atta now tells us, participants at the interactive session also preferred solutions which they say, if implemented, will put a stop to the frequent air crashes in the country.
Discussions at the 2-day interactive engagement centered on reports of investigations into air crashes in Nigeria carried out by the Accident Investigation Bureau (AIB) in the past decade. Speaking during an interview, the General Manager Public Affairs Accident Investigation Bureau, Tunji Oketumbi, said part of the Bureau's core mandate is to investigate the reports, draw lessons and implement safety recommendations to prevent future recurrence.
We are reviewing 8 reports. 8 reports. These reports have been released earlier on and they have been uploaded into our website. But what we are doing right now is to engage the stakeholders so that they can draw lessons from those reports. So that because we discovered that we live in a society where people don't read. And so we are taking it to their doorstep by engaging them, to look at those reports, draw safety lessons from them. In fulfillment of our mandate is to investigate aircraft accidents or serious incidents with a view to preventing future recurrence of similar events.
To improve aviation safety, Oketumbi said recommendations and lessons learned from past air crashes were made available to relevant organizations and parastatals in the nation's aviation industry.
There are some of them that are addressed to, for example, to the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria to ensure that the runway lights are in good order. They are serviceable at all times. There are some that are addressed to the affected airlines that they need to ensure that their crew comply with certain procedures. There are some, but beyond even those safety recommendations, there are safety lessons, inside those reports. And that's why we have conveyed this meeting, so that they can also look beyond the safety recommendation and see other things that happened.
The session also featured interactions from experts and other stakeholders in the aviation industry. The Nigerian Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, is under the Ministry of Transportation and is charged with the responsibility of investigating civil aircraft accidents and serious incidents arising in the course of air navigation to a Nigerian aircraft within or outside the Nigerian soil, so as to improve aviation safety and prevent the recurrence of similar accidents. Gloria Atta reporting for Clearview Television.
And on the foreign scene, President Joe Biden has promised to hunt down the jihadists behind an attack in Kabul which killed at least 19 people, including 13 U.S. troops. Biden warned the U.S. would not forgive the perpetrators. The twin blasts claimed by a local branch of Islamic State tore through crowds of men, women, and children outside Kabul airport. They were hoping to join the 100,000 people airlifted out of Afghanistan since it fell to Taliban militants. There had been repeated warnings that an attack was likely, but it either did not reach or did not deter those waiting. U.S. troops in control of Kabul International Airport have been facilitating the evacuation of foreign nationals and Afghans who had been working with foreign missions. Speaking hours after Thursday's attack, Biden vowed to complete the evacuation mission, promising not to be deterred by terrorists.
We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay.
That'll be all, but before we go, a look at our top stories. A Rano local government area of Kano State has banned people of the opposite sex from meeting in public places at night. Authorities say the bylaw enacted to this effect is as a result of the reported cases of immoral activities between girls and boys, including divorcees. Incarcerated Glory Okoli has asked the court to mandate to Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, and Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to pay her the sum of 100 billion naira as general and punitive damages for infringing on her rights. A 21-year-old lady was arrested and enslaved by operatives of the Inspector General of Police's Intelligence Response Team in Imo State without bail. We also told you that President Joe Biden has promised to hunt down the jihadists behind an attack in Kabul which killed at least 90 people, including 13 U.S. troops. Biden warned the U.S. would not forgive the perpetrators of the twin blasts that tore through crowds of men, women, and children outside Kabul airport. Remember to like us on Facebook at Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at ClearviewTV_NG. Also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Clearview TV. I am Prudence Okona. Many thanks for joining us.